On our street, everything was normal, except for the scent. It wasn't just sweet, it was a scent that felt almost material, like a heavy fog choking the air. This scent emanated from the garden of Mrs. Ilara. I'm Khalid, and this entire summer I've been struggling with insomnia. At night, that scent begins to seep into my room. It shifts, sickeningly sweet at first, then suddenly changing to smell like freshly turned earth, or maybe cold, stale meat. That isn't the worst part. Every time I inhale that scent deeply, I momentarily forget why I'm sad, or I forget the shape of my mother's face. This sudden amnesia is the first sign of terror. The scent is stealing pieces of my mind. Ilara is not a quirky old neighbor. She is an unchanging entity. I have never seen her laugh or show anger. When she looks at you, you feel like she isn't seeing Khalid, but rather the accumulated pain inside him. Her garden, filled with the large, trumpet-shaped white datura flowers, is not peaceful. It is terrifyingly silent. No insects buzz, no birds chirp. The garden swallows all sound and movement. Ilara is not a quirky old neighbor. She is an unchanging entity. I have never seen her laugh or show anger. When she looks at you, you feel like she isn't seeing Khalid, but rather the accumulated pain inside him. Her garden, filled with the large, trumpet-shaped white datura flowers, is not peaceful. It is terrifyingly silent. No insects buzz, no birds chirp. The garden swallows all sound and movement. One night, unable to sleep, I looked out the window. Ilara was in her garden. She wasn't watering the flowers. She stood over the patch of black soil, her arms raised as if drawing something out of the ground or receiving something from the sky. The horror wasn't her ritual, but the light. Every datura flower was glowing with an eerie white luminescence emanating from within, as if consuming energy. After a while, Ilara went inside, but I noticed something disturbing. A piece of her clothing was stained with dark, strange mud. When she touched it with her hand, the mud seemed to shrivel and dry instantly, as if it had been absorbed. The next day, I ran into Ilara by the mailbox. The touch of her hand was cold and desiccating, like it was sucking the moisture right out of my skin. She whispered softly, looking at a point just behind me. "Your pain, Khalid, has a very pungent scent. It ruins the garden's serenity. You require purification." When I broke into the shed, my motive wasn't curiosity. It was necessity. I needed to know what was stealing my memory. The jars weren't filled with resin, but with organic shards, each one labeled. Sarah's rage wasn't just anger. It was a solidified piece that looked like a shriveled, cramped heart. When I touched it, I didn't feel anger. I felt the absolute hopelessness and suffocation that drove Sarah here. These wounds are not inert. They are alive and concentrated. And Ilara is transferring or replanting them. If you touch them, you don't see the past. You experience another person's ending. I found Ilara waiting for me by the damp black soil. She told me calmly, "Don't worry, Khalid. You won't feel anything anymore." The horror here is that Ilara doesn't use spells or potions. She uses focused suggestion and the powerful scent to prime the mind. When she tried to touch me, I screamed the words of pain I had been suppressing. "Ah!" I didn't scream out of fear, but because I was trying to prove to myself and to her that this pain was mine. This sudden, powerful noise caused Ilara to freeze. The look in her eyes was was real terror. Not terror of strength, but terror of failure. As if the wound refused to be separated from its host. I ran. When I got back to my room, the scent was gone. I looked at my hand. I had cut it on a bush. It wasn't deep, but it bled. And in the moment I saw my own blood, I felt a terrifying relief. Physical pain validates my existence, unlike the emotional pain she wanted to steal. But when I woke up the next morning, there was a tiny black seed on my nightstand. It was dry and cold. The final horror. When I swept the seed into the bin, I felt an instant of absolute coldness in my chest, and I couldn't feel anything about the noise in my head. Did she succeed in planting a piece of the void? Since that day, whenever I try to feel happy, a faint, strange voice whispers, "There's no point in this. Don't feel anything." I don't know if that's my voice or the voice of the seed that still lies somewhere in my room.